Welcome to part 3 of the tutorial series Guitar Pro 6 for drummers. Today we'll talk about dynamics and how to use it as a playback or even for a demo. So after the last part, part 2, we ended up with a plain groove and now we want to add some dynamics. Today it's a different groove, but it would sound like that. Okay, to spice it up, we can add some accents over here. Press semicolon to add an accent. We can put them on the quarter notes on the hi-hat. Then there is a different type of accent, a heavier accent. You can press colon to use it. This one works great for the backbeat. So we'll put them just there. Next thing we want to add are ghost notes. Some snare ghost notes over here. You find it over here or by pressing O on your keyboard. And we can add some bass drum ghost notes as well, maybe over here and over here. So let's see how it sounds now. The first bars will remain the same to have a reference. Well, there are even more options. So over here you can find crescendo and decrescendo. We might add one in the end here because we gradually open the hi-hat and we can increase the volume with that as well. Let's see how it sounds. Well, that gives a nice effect, I think. To customize the dynamics even further, we can assign certain dynamic levels from pianissimo to fortissimo to individual notes. For example, if you think the ghost notes are too loud, we can maybe lower the dynamic level of those to give it a better effect. There is no shortcut though for the dynamics, for the dynamic levels, so you have to select them from the sidebar. Okay. And the crescendo may be a little stronger as well, so we'll do it like that. Okay, let's see. Just those bars on repeat. I think that crescendo really soaks into the new one now. Okay, well, then we got the realistic sound engine, which is basically kind of the synthesizer in that program. You can activate and deactivate it by pressing F2, which changes it to MIDI. You might want to do that either if your CPU can't handle the realistic sound engine, or if you want to use your own MIDI synthesizer, for example, your drum kit again. Okay, to select your drum kit, you change to MIDI by pressing F2, then go up to sound here, audio settings, and select your drum kit then. This is the standard synthesizer from Microsoft, which would sound like that. It's not too spectacular. Or your electric kit. This again can be connected via MIDI. So you can have MIDI input from your eKit and MIDI output to use the sounds from there. To customize the sound even further while still using the realistic sound engine, you can go here to the left. Within this tab, you can select your playing style between sticks, brushes and hot rods. You can change the amount of accentuation, which increases the dynamic range. That is an option you can try before assigning individual dynamic levels to notes. That might work and be a little easier. Down here you can see the sound banks you get. Usually there's just one, but you can buy more drum kits or drum kit sound sets from their homepage. In this tab you can find amps. Basically this is made for guitar, so there are different amplifiers, effect pedals and master effects, and you can build a chain up here and save it to those 4 variations here and name them if you like. Here, rename. I called it dry rock. Maybe you want to change the sound within a song for different passages. To activate those, you select a region and go up here to edit, scroll down to variations and can select those variations. Okay, the next tab is for master. Here you can find gate, limiter, compressor, and reverb, and you have a master EQ. This is for all tracks summed up, and this tab is just for the individual tracks and for those individual variations here. And this tab here saying C7 is just for guitar. That would basically be a chord library, so we don't need it for drums. Then you get another EQ down here, a basic EQ and pan and volume. And okay, you can solo or mute the track as well. If you want to go real crazy with all those, you can do it like this. I've prepared it for you in a different file. You can put hi-hat, snare and bass to different tracks, balance them down here and assign individual effects and EQ to each track, different variations and so on. And you can make it real crazy. I added even another track here with a bass effect. I can show you real quick. So in total it would sound like that. For this last section I used a pan automation. You can find it down here. That works for tempo as well, but I'll show you how to do that in a next episode. For volume and for pan. So here you got those different tracks and the bars. And as you see, it's going from left to right with each 8th note. If we select it here. And you can tell it to have a constant value or change gradually. In the second bar it skips just from left to right. If you listen closely you might hear it. And to show you that master real quick, I'll add the reverb. Okay, if you're satisfied with your file or how it sounds, you can go here to File, Export, and export it as MIDI to import it into your digital audio workstation afterwards, or as a WAV file. That even works if your computer can't handle the live playback and is lagging a bit, because then it will render it out and save it as a WAV file. So I think that's it for today. Making it sound good. As you see, there are a lot of options. Mainly it's made for guitar, so you need to see what is applicable for the drums. So see you on the next video.